Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back to talk about some more UFC. We're going to do a review of the fight night and then the card I've been waiting for, UFC 252, which is going to be a legendary matchup. We're going to go into that one. But yeah, let's start off with UFC, the fight night, Lewis versus Olynyk. So, if you remember, I did 3 out of the 5 fights I picked, and I was actually back on track and got all 3 that I picked correctly. Alright, so yeah. So last week was a fluke. I told everybody I was going to do better, and I did. So yeah, so the first fight that I predicted, which was actually the first fight on the main card, was Beneil Dariush against Scott Holtzman. Now, Holtzman had never been finished before, so it was an amazing knockout by Dariush in the first round. I mean, he hit him with a spinning, it looked like a back fist and a forearm at the same time. He just drilled him. Holtzman fell on the floor, and you could see he was just out of it. Dariush, that was just fantastic. He's not really, he's more known for his grappling, but man, lately he's been putting hands on people. That was just beautiful. And like I said, for Holtzman, who's never been finished before, that was amazing by Dariush. So hopefully that'll push Dariush up in the rankings, and we'll see. Hopefully he can make a run. He'll be exciting. He's putting it together. So we'll see. Hopefully that was good. So that was the first pick correctly. The next fight, which I didn't predict, which I didn't make a prediction on, was Yana Kuznetskaya against Yulia Storienko in the women's bantamweight division. Yana won by unanimous decision. I mean, she just, all she would do is just put Yulia to the cage and just hit her with knees and punches, and Yulia just looked lost. She just looked completely lost out there. It was just a dominant performance. I had it 30-26, so you could basically give one of the rounds to Yana for the 10-8 round, but it wasn't even close. And so we'll see. Maybe that'll keep her up in the bantamweight rankings. Maybe she can get a ranked opponent next and see what she does there. The fight after that, also I didn't predict, was Darren Studer against Maki Pitolo. That fight ended very quickly. Pitolo tried to take Stewart to the ground, and when he did, Stewart grabbed onto his neck, and you could see when he kind of had pulled him down, he switched positioning of it, and he just had his neck tight, and Pitolo tapped out. That was it there. The dentist gets another victory, so that was good. And like I said, quick work, so maybe he'll make a turnaround there. The co-main event was former champ, middleweight champ Chris Weidman against Omari Akhmedov. Now, Weidman, if you remember, like I said, was the champ, and then he's been on a string of losses, getting knocked out. So I picked him to win this fight, and he did. He won by decision. It was a close fight. I thought Weidman won the first round. He held his own. Striking was okay. Akhmedov then had control of the second round, so I was kind of getting worried, like, oh man, maybe Weidman's not going to be able to pull this off. But he did. He turned around in the third round. He took Akhmedov down. He had top control, hitting him with punches, going for submissions, and yeah, so he won basically in a unanimous decision. And it was, again, I don't know. I don't think he has what it takes to make a push. He wants to make a push against those middleweight guys. I don't think he could beat Whitaker. I don't think he could beat Till. Don't think he could beat Adesanya. I mean, hey, if he wants to go out there, who am I to tell him not to? But I just don't think he has what it takes anymore. He did not look good in this fight. I mean, so we'll see what his career path goes on to. Then the main event, which I also picked correctly, was Derek Lewis against Alexei Oleinik. In the first round, it was crazy. Olynyk took Lewis down, and he had him in a couple submission attempts, and it looked like Lewis was struggling to breathe. I mean, Olynyk just had it tight on him, but Lewis survived, and he was fine. And in the second round, boom, he came out with a flying knee that which hit Olynyk right in the chest, and he follows it up with a right hand, boom, dropped Olynyk, hit him with a few punches. Fight was over. There we go. Lewis, now that he's seeing a nutritionist and he plans on dropping some weight to, improve his endurance, I think he might be somebody to watch out for. Right? Look, if you think about it, he lost to Cormier, which, everybody almost pretty much lost to Cormier. Even Stipe Miocic, the only person who hasn't is John Jones. So no shame in losing to him. He fought Francis Ngannou. It wasn't a great fight, but he didn't get knocked out. Like, Ngannou's been knocking everybody out. So, really, I think Lewis, if he can lose that weight and he's improving his cardio, his fitness, he has that fight-changing power. If he can improve on his ground defense as well, I mean, maybe this is a guy that, you could see he's not, he can still do it. I think he can face some of those top guys and actually beat him. I'd love to see him in a rematch with Ngannou, just because, like I said, the fight didn't really go anywhere. I mean, it was like I said, it was a boring fight. I think it would be more exciting this time, but Lewis can drop Ngannou as well. So I like what Lewis is doing. Again, I'd like to see him face one of those top 3 guys and go from there. I mean, you never know what he could do, but I think he loses the weight, he'll be fine. So that was a recap there. Now we're going to do UFC 252. So that's what we're going to be talking about next. I'm going to go into those fights, and I'm going to actually make prediction on all 5 fights on that main card. So we'll go from there. So the first fight on the UFC 252 card is going to be actually a rematch. It's between number 14 ranked Magomedsharipov from Russia versus Ion Kutulumba. So if you remember this fight back in February, Magomed hit with a he hit actually, why am I showing my hands? He hit him with a leg kick, Ian, and it kind of stumbled him a little bit, but you could see he was fine. I don't know why the referee jumped in, waved it off, and said he couldn't continue, but you could see he was clearly fine. So Magomed did get the victory. The ref should have let it play out. He didn't. So now, they'll have a rematch, and hopefully whoever the ref will be, will do a better job and let it go unless one of them is completely out. I will pick Magomed to win again. He's, like I say, he's number 14. Ian's not ranked, but I think Magomed will, I think he'll do what it takes. I don't know if he'll win by knockout again. Maybe. I mean, he heard him already once. He knows he could do it. So hopefully he just doesn't fall in love with it, because, sometimes when you have that power, you fall in love with it, and it doesn't always work good. So, yeah, so that's my first pick, Magomed and Kaliev. All right. The next fight will be in the men's bantamweight division. It's with number 12, John Dodson, who's coming off of a TKO victory over Nathaniel Wood, and he's fighting number 15 ranked Verdaccini from Georgia, who's on a 4-fight winning streak. And he beat Gustavo Lopez. Dodson, if you look at his record, he's lost to just top guys. He's lost to Jimmy Rivera, Petr Yan, who's the champ. And he's lost by decision. So I'm actually picking Dodson to win. He also does have good power. I mean, he's knocked out guys in that division. Even though he is 35, he's just lost to top guys. I'm not saying Verdaccini is not a top guy. I just don't think he'll pull it off. But yeah, so Dodson, like I say, he's 35. Maybe we'll see. Like you say, he's lost to top guys. Hopefully he can, I've always liked him. He was an Ultimate Fighter winner. So maybe hopefully he can, win this fight and just, go on maybe another little run, fight the top guys in the bantamweight division. So we'll see what happens there. So Dodson's my pick for that fight. The third fight is going to be a heavyweight banger. It's going to be number 6, Junior Dos Santos. I'm sorry, correct me wrong. Number 5, Junior Dos Santos against number 6, Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Now, Dos Santos is coming off of a TKO loss to Curtis Blades. So it's a battle of guys that both lost. Jairzinho, if you remember earlier this year, got obliterated by Francis Ngannou in like 20 seconds. I don't know, it wasn't even, so maybe even less than that. But he just got obliterated. So they're both coming off of a loss. Dos Santos, he's been looking kind of shaky. He's getting old. He is a former champ. Rozenstruik, I mean, outside of that blowout to Ngannou, and Ngannou's pretty much knocked out everybody, I think he'll win this fight. He has devastating power. I hope he learned from that loss with Ngannou. Dos Santos has power too, but I don't think anybody has really power like Ngannou. So I think Rozenstruik will win. I think he'll probably win by TKO. Though, that part I'm not too sure about, but I do pick Rozenstruik to win that fight. It'll be fun. Like I said, heavyweights, they have that power that, boom, you can just one punch, boom, good night. Alright, so the next fight I'm looking forward to is in the co-main event. It's in the men's bantamweight division. It's undefeated prospect Sean O'Malley, who's actually ranked number 14, and he's going against Marlon Vera. who's also a young guy. I think this is a great fight. O'Malley is exciting. He's been nothing but excitement. He's got power. I mean, we'll see how he goes to the floor because I'm curious to see if he, once he fights a wrestler. Vera's coming off of a decision he lost to Badong Young. So he's young though. He's 27 as well. It's a good. I like that they're not pushing Sugar Sean O'Malley. He's exciting. I like to see that he's gradually building up because he's very young. So I think he's only 25 years old. So to me, that's perfect. He's a hot prospect. He's got the flair. He's got the power. It'll be great to see. I mean, he knocked out Eddie Weiland in his last fight earlier this year. So this is a good fight. This is a nice, like I said, between two young guys. I do pick Sean O'Malley to win this fight. And from there, again, it might bump him in the rankings like 13-12. And then from there, I would like to see him face maybe a top 10 guy, probably like maybe a number 9 or 10 to rank bantamweight, just to see after he pulls off this fight. He's just, he's like I said, it looks like he's got the stuff. So we'll see what happens there, but I'm excited about that one. And the main event, I mean, this is such an epic fight. You can make the argument that whoever wins this heavyweight fight is going to go down as the greatest heavyweight champion in UFC history. Maybe even of all time. I mean, the argument was with Fedor there. I'm a big fan of Fedor as well. But you could really make the argument here. You have Stipe Miocic, who is the champ, and he's fighting Daniel Cormier, who was the former champ and the former light heavyweight champ. This is their third fight. Now, in the first fight, if you remember, it was in UFC 226, which was about 2 years ago. Cormier moved up. He was the champ, light heavyweight champ. He moved up to heavyweight to face Stipe, who was the champ at the time. And in the first round, Cormier hits him with a nice short punch. Boom, drops Stipe, gets on top of him, knocks him out. Fight over. Cormier becomes double champ. I mean, that was just absolutely amazing. Cormier is my all-time favorite fighter, so to me, that's like, it was so awesome to see. I mean, he's such a humble guy. He works hard and everything, and for him to become double champ, it was amazing. They had a rematch last year at UFC 241, where Stipe was actually, he was losing the fight. Judging the fight, and even by the judges' scorecards, he was actually losing that fight. But in the fourth round, I mean, he could just see he was starting to turn things around. He started going to the body of Cormier, and Cormier wasn't defending. He just kept digging to the body. And you could see it wore Cormier down. Then he hit him with a nice combo in the head, and you could see Cormier just got, wobbled. He hit Cormier with some punches, dropped him, boom, boom, boom. TKO, victory. Stipe now becomes champ again. So he's now the current heavyweight champ. So now this is the third fight. This is the trilogy. I mean, if you're not doing anything Saturday night, I highly recommend it because both of these guys are absolutely amazing. They're legends in this sport. Like I said, you really can make the argument whoever wins this fight will be the greatest heavyweight of all time. Now, with this pick, I am going with my heart over my head. Cormier is my all-time favorite fighter, so I am going with him. I think he's hopefully going to retire after this fight, regardless win or lose. He's had an illustrious career. He's only lost twice. One fight was a no contest. Yeah, I know some people can say, well, he really lost 3 times because Jones did beat him twice, but because Jones tested positive for steroids, they counted it as a no contest. He's just had an amazing career. I mean, he's already in his 40s. I really don't think he should fight after this. He even told himself he wasn't going to fight past 40, so I really think this should be his last fight. I think it would be such a great way to go out as a champ again. He has a great chance. I'm not saying he doesn't have a great chance. It's just, Stipe, recovered from that first fight, and he looked, again, he was losing in the second fight, but he came back, and he adjusted very well. So now it's up to Cormier to adjust now his game plan. I think he needs to try to utilize his wrestling, because he's an Olympic wrestler. Just avoid those body shots that Stipe was hitting with. I mean, that might be Stipe's game plan again there. Again, I'm picking Cormier, so I'm hoping Cormier pulls it off and rides off into the sunset and just be done after that. So yeah, so that is just an amazing fight. I am excited about it. I'm nervous about it as well because, like I said, I like Stipe Miocic too. But like I said, Cormier is my favorite. So I really want to see him just ride out into the sunset, into retirement as a champ again. It's going to be an amazing fight. I cannot wait. So if you're counting at home again on those 5 picks, first fight Magomed, second fight we're going to pick John Dodson. Third fight, Jairzinho Rosenstrike. Fourth fight, Sean O'Malley. And then the fifth fight, the final fight, the main event, Daniel Cormier to become heavyweight champ once again. All right, y'all. If you guys could please like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna do a recap next week of these epic fights. I'm sure they will be. And yeah, all right. Peace out, y'all.
Because you know I'm all about that cake and chicken. I'm all about that cake and chicken. I'm all about that cake and chicken. I'm all about that cake. Yeah, it's pretty clear, I ain't no size 2, but I can wrestle, and I can throw you, 'cause I got that boom boom that all the fighters chase. All the right punches in all the right places. I'm an Olympian, trying to make the top. We know that Jones ain't real, come on son, make it stop. If you're a foodie, just raise him up, 'cause every inch of me is perfect from the bottom to the top.